was going to Pacific University in Forest Grove to be an optometrist. So, even though my aunt and uncle were not too happy, I said, I'm going to marry him. So I graduated high school in June. We got married in August. He said it wouldn't last. We were married for 37 years. Had 4 daughters. He died. He died when he was 60 of a brain tumor. And I was single for almost 20 years when I married yours truly, sitting in front here. Just a few months ago, I'm a bride. But my children were raised knowing that they live in a privileged society, in a privileged country. They don't understand prejudice based on racial, ethnic, or physical looks. They know that they don't have to like everybody, but they know they have to give everybody their own space and respect everybody's ideals. My daughters have raised their children with the same ideals. I have 6 grandchildren. I had 4 daughters. My youngest daughter died this spring, suddenly. She left a 15-year-old freshman son as an orphan. He has a father. He lives with Dad. I mean, they were married. It's been a tough year. I have not spoken for over a year in schools, and I used to do it probably once a week. I just couldn't. You're my first group. I don't know how much longer I can do this. It's important. It is so important to let you know what you have. Because you see, prejudice comes primarily from ignorance. It's not knowing. It's the strangeness. It's a fear. But prejudice does not make exceptions. During World War II, it was me. Today, it could be any one of you, if that should happen, if you permit it. We live in a very democratic society. Our safeguard is our Constitution, but the Constitution is only as good as the people who interpret it, who work on it, who want to be free. Because as I told a group of students a few years ago, and it shocked them, they couldn't quite catch on. I said, today, it could be all the redheads. Just because some idiot didn't like redheads. Next year, it could be the blue-eyed. It doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, we did a school experiment where all the Catholic students stood up. And I reversed the tables on them. They were stunned. They couldn't believe that it really applied to them. We can do it with every group, with every person. I don't like to preach, but I do want to leave you with a very clear message. Hatred and prejudice are not acceptable. A student once asked me, do I hate? The answer is, I only hate one thing. No, I do not hate, because if I carried hatred in my soul, Hitler would have won. And I wanted victory. I wanted to live and to love, not to hate. There is only one hatred that I truly have, and that's a hatred of hatred. I won't tolerate it wherever I am. And I hope that you accept the responsibility of your right to be yourself, no matter who you are, what you are, good student, bad student, respect yourselves and respect the rights of others. And on this, we will thank you. Are there any questions or comments? I know it's long, sorry. Thank you very much. You're a neat group of kids. Thanks. You are wonderful. I appreciate your attention. But there's a young lady who's got her hand way up. Yeah?
Do you still have your number?
Do I still have my number? Now, as a matter of fact, I'm part of a transport in Auschwitz. I don't know how many survived, very few, who was never tattooed. We did not get a number. Towards the end, they didn't have time. So I've been told. Most of the people I was with went directly to the gas chambers. But they do have a record of me in Auschwitz. I went to Poland for a few years ago to collect soil for the Holocaust, Oregon Holocaust Memorial, which I probably should tell you about in a little bit. It's very important. There were 7 survivors, 13 of us, 5 camp survivors who went back to the 6 killing camps to collect soil. And it was quite an experience. Going back to Auschwitz was just too much. So I don't know. As far as I know, I met a man once when he found out what part of Poland I came from. He turned gray. He says, I've been looking for someone from that area for 45 years. And I was the only person. There's a young man.
Do you know Anne Frank?
Do I know Anne Frank? No. It's a good question. Lots of people ask me that. Anne Frank was in the same camp as I was. She was in Bergen-Belsen. She died there. Anne Frank was Dutch. I was Polish. I have no idea what camp she was in, but I was a little younger than Anne. And I had the guts to live. I fought it. Anne gave up when her sister died. That's a tragedy. She left an incredible heritage and story. But Anne Frank had typhus. She wasn't as lucky as I was. She died a few days before liberation. I was carried out on a stretcher. I'm sure she would have been a friend if I knew her. Back there.
Do you still follow the same religion as you did then?
Am I still following the same religion as I did then? Yeah, I'm a Jew. I've always been Jewish. I've never hidden it. And I am a Jew. Am I a good practicing Jew? I'm a good person. Yeah, I guess. I don't go too deeply into religion. I think it divides people, which is unfortunate. But I do believe in our common humanity, and I believe that religion does good when it's used in the proper way. I do practice it. I observe the holidays. My kids were raised Jewish. You need to know who you are, where you come from. Okay, let's go back there. I can't hear you.
How different did Hitler see you in your eyes?
How what?
How did Hitler see you in your eyes?
How did Hitler see him in my eyes? Remember, there was no TV. And we didn't get to go to the movies. So Hitler was a voice on a radio. A screaming voice that came at you from the radio. But Jews couldn't have radios either, so we had to listen at our friends' homes ever so often. He was a maniac. All right, one other girl there. happened to my mother? She was murdered in Auschwitz. I never saw her again. The next lady. You. Oh, young man. I'm sorry. I couldn't see you. Pardon? Do I know where my father died? Yeah, in a labor camp, Camp Radziwiłł, Poland. I have no information, but that's where he was, and he never got out of there. Last one in this section, you in front. Yeah. Am I glad it's over? You know what? It's a good question. It's not over, honey. For me, it's never over. I learned to live with it and to make life count. The war ended. The after effect of it never ended. Just like I'm sure the people that were destroyed during the tsunami, which is the current tragedy, their families will never be the same. It changes your life permanently. Let's hope there won't be another war like that. There's still prejudice and hatred and killing. All right, you.
Was the lady that let you peel the potatoes, did she become one of your best friends?
That lady was only my boss. Oh, the lady that helped us, that took us to peel potatoes. Never saw her again. I was in that job for about 2 weeks, I think. She was a wonderful human being. There's an example that you can't hate all people blindly. You see, German to me was hatred. I was terrified. It was a German woman. She was wonderful. It's a one-by-one case. If you stay away from mass hysteria. On this side, we've been ignoring you. Okay, up front.
Did you ever get made fun of at high school before years old?
Did I what?
Did you ever get made fun of at high school for being Jewish?
Oh, good question. Was I ever made fun of in Portland High School for being Jewish? No, they couldn't figure out how I could be a Jew when I was Polish. It just didn't add up. So I kept trying to explain, well, what religion are you? Oh, well, I'm Protestant. What nationality are you? I'm American. I said, how can you be an American if you're a Protestant? No, really, no, I was kind of a novelty item. They all wanted to hear stories about Poland and songs, and I usually talked about pre-World War II, about my childhood. I didn't talk about the war. It was too heavy, I was too close to it. Besides, I was told that I needed to forget, I should not bring it up. Well-meaning aunt and uncle. It took me many years before I started opening up. I just had nightmares. There's a young lady way back there.
Was it hard for you to learn English?
Was it hard for me to learn English? Well, kind of, maybe. But then I figured it out. I stopped translating from Polish into English. Got much easier. I was thinking in Polish and translating, and it never came out right. I wanted to be an American so much. I wanted to fit in. I didn't want to stick out. I didn't want to be different. That I actually woke up one morning and somebody said something to me in Polish, I think my uncle, and I had forgotten. I'd wiped out every word of Polish I ever knew. I started dreaming, thinking in English, with an accent. Way back there.
Did you ever, when you were in that camp deal or whatever, did you ever, like, just think, maybe I should just screw up, just so I can die, so I don't have to do it anymore?
Oh, maybe I should give up in the camps and just die? You're darn right, everybody thought of it. I didn't have a choice, no way. I wanted to live, I didn't care what price I had to pay. Live, live, live. That's what it was all about. You're going to push yourself. You're not going to fall down. You have to live. You have to live. You're the only one left. Maybe somebody's alive. You have to live. If you've heard other survivors, we're all the same about that. The young man there. What was my first job in America? Selling candy at Fred Meyer's candy counter. I was 16, didn't speak English yet. More? One more. Okay, this young lady. Oh. Did I ever get beaten? I believe I did. I have scars. My husband just asked me recently, his name is Mo. He's that cute guy sitting in front here. he says, honey, what are those scars on your knees? And I said, I don't know. I believe I was beaten. I came to in the hospital with welts this deep in both knees. But I have no recollection. Yeah, I'm sure I was. But I can't tell you where and how. You don't get scars like that from nothing. Okay? Thank you again. Down, everybody. Hold on. I gotta tell you a couple things. Your teacher asked, my fault. First of all, she wants me to tell you about the Oregon Holocaust Memorial. It's one of the most important projects that a few survivors have ever accomplished in their life, with the assistance of superb designers, architects, and the most wonderful coalition of human beings I've ever worked with. It took us 10 years. It's in Washington Park. We took a different approach. It's not a horror place. It's a garden setting. You conjure your own horror when you go there. You let your imagination roam. It represents a Polish European village square. The walkway represents the train tracks. Then there is a memorial wall with quotes from survivors, soil from the 6 camps, and a complete history wall written by Dr. Marshall Lee, who was professor of Holocaust at Pacific University for many years, internationally revered scholar of the Holocaust. And the backside of the memorial, which is granite, it's magnificent, has all of our families. Everybody who resides in Oregon or southwestern Washington could submit names of their families to put on the wall. And it's done in family groups instead of just rows and rows of names. If you go there on a field trip, I hope you do, you can learn a lot. You will see maybe 15 names, and on the bottom it will say, family of Miriam Greenstein. You will know that's my family. Everyone who has their name on that wall as being a member, survivor of that family, is a bona fide person who resides in Oregon. Many of us are speakers. It's an incredible experience. We've won architectural reviews, commentaries throughout the world, in the French paper, in the Jerusalem paper in England. The coverage has been incredible. They say it's probably the finest memorial in the world. It's in your own backyard. It's free. You will have a docent. The docent will explain to you where you are, let you take your time, ask questions. It's a totally different experience than sitting for an hour and a half listening to me talk. You can move, you can walk, you can talk. You feel it, you absorb it. That's number one. Number two, for educational purposes, if you want to learn different things about the Holocaust, the Oregon Holocaust Resource Center at Pacific University, we're online. I'm the past president, one of many. We've been in existence for 20 years. We have a research site, we have a website, we have tons of books, we have tapes, we're going digital, just got a grant, we still need more money to convert everything because the tapes are eroding. It's a fantastic resource, and it's all free to teachers and to students. Now, any one of you who would want to join the Resource Center, if you do, for students and teachers, it costs $25 a year, that's it, for membership. But you do not need to be a member to access our information. We're there to help you, to educate you. So, I think with that, we are done, and thank you for being wonderful.
What a tremendous opportunity this was. I know a lot of you had questions that you didn't get answered. It's toward the end of the day now, and I know a lot of you have left your things in your 5th period class. So at this time,